What's up, everyone? My next guest is a featherweight contender from Tennessee, and he is set to make his MMA debut on July 13th at Nashville Underground. Amange Mayi joins me right now. Welcome to the program, sir. Glad that we can do this. MMA debut, brother. I bet you are so excited to go out there and perform. And very first question for you. I'm introducing you to a lot of people. They're going to be eager to know kind of who you are, where you're from. Can you talk a little bit about your combat sports background?
All right, so I'm Amange Mayi. I'm making my MMA debut. I've been training since I was a kid. My brother and I would just scrap in the living room, put gloves on. We used to do WWE, put the belt on top of the fan, do ladder matches, all that kind of stuff. So grappling has always been a part of me, a part of my life. Also, my brother's, and my brother actually started a year before me. I was always a video gamer. I used to play video games, just sit in my cave and play video games, like I said. But then a year later, I decided to give it a try, and I actually started off with BJJ, and then I transitioned over to wrestling, and I kind of picked up striking as I got better at grappling and jiu-jitsu, and I've been really hammering down the grappling, the wrestling, and yeah, I feel comfortable with it, man. So
Amange, to get to this point, like, I don't think there are a lot of people, like, unless you train at all, like, I don't think people really understand the amount of work, the amount of dedication, the amount of sacrifice it gets to even make it to your level to where you can actually make that walk and call yourself a fighter. This is something that you've been locked down and you've been working your tail off for a really long time. What was the hardest thing about your MMA journey thus far? Can you tell me a little bit, like, was there ever a time where you really had to, like, kind of flip a switch and start living your life differently compared to probably your friends and other people that you hang out with to pursue this dream?
the hardest thing about my journey was getting a fight, man. Every time I get a fight announcement, it's just something happened. I
Mhm.
three personal problems, gym problems, and all that stuff was just stopping me from taking a fight. And you know how tough training camps are. You need to be dialed in. You need everything around you has to be on point. And for me, I just didn't feel comfortable to take a fight under those circumstances. But now I feel great. I feel ready. Everything's organized. Everything's perfect, and I'm ready to get going, man.
Amanji, can you tell me a little bit about your gym? You train out of Nashville MMA. There are a lot of very talented fighters that go through there. Most of them have been on this program at one point or another, so I'm familiar with several of them. Charlie's there, Zach's there. There's a bunch of other really amazing fighters out of there. Can you talk to me a little bit, like, how'd you get up with those guys, and what's that experience been like being at Nashville MMA?
So my brother when he first started MMA, he joined Nashville MMA. And I was a kid watching him train with all these killers like Dustin Ortiz, Charlie, Zach, and all these guys. I'm just sitting on the bench. I'm like, dang, these guys are good. And as I got older, I got to train with them, and I understand how good they are. Like Charlie Alexander, Ronnie Lawrence, Dedrick Sanders, my brother. There's so many guys I'm probably forgetting about, but Zach Hicks, those guys are killers. And dude, they've got me so ready these past few years, and this amateur's not going to touch me.
Would you consider yourself like a jujitsu base, a grappling base, or are you just kind of like this new mold, like freestyle fighter that more and more people are kind of getting accustomed to?
Dude, I'm a hybrid. I'm
Mhm.
a great grappler. Grappling is what I'm comfortable in. But when it's on the feet, I can get fancy. I can keep it basic. Even when it goes on the cage, everywhere the fight goes, I can fight.
You do have experience grappling in front of crowds. Like, there's several grappling matches that you have that are on YouTube. When you, like, lean back and, like, think about all your grappling experience, do you have a particular match that stands out in your mind, like one that you're, like, most proud of?
It would probably be that Aries grappling match. My first time grappling or competing inside of a cage in front of a bunch of people with the spotlight on me, a guy with the microphone in his hand announcing me. I was nervous for that moment, but as soon as I got in the cage, man, I felt ready. I was ready to throw hands right then and there, but it was only grappling. So yeah.
Well, it's still a big accomplishment. And for you, just knowing that you have competitive experience under your belt, I know it's a different discipline. I know we're talking about grappling, and this is an MMA fight, but you're fighting in the same city, probably going to be a lot of the same familiar faces, a
Yep.
lot of familiarity there with the grappling. Does that kind of help make this MMA debut a little bit different, knowing that you have that past experience to kind of fall back on?
Yeah, dude, if everything goes wrong, I could just grapple. I'll just grapple, hold the guy down for 9 minutes. That's what I'm comfortable at, man, is grappling. Just taking someone down, pinning them, and just not letting them move and get up.
Is there any UFC fighter that's out there competing currently that's like one of your favorite MMA fighters that you look at and try to like emulate, or would you like draw any comparisons between yourself and then like some other like big name fighters that we would know?
I like watching GSP a lot. His takedowns, I love studying his takedowns. He's explosive with his takedowns. I kind of have the same explosiveness. Also, when it gets on the cage, I like watching Khabib. But if we're going the striking realm, I like Robert Whitaker, kind of the fast in and out movement, the karate style. I like, yeah, that's what I like.
It's going to be a completely different a pacing of a fight. We're talking about a potential 9-minute fight. That's a very, very long time. Now we're talking about having to sit on a stool potentially and then make adjustments and do the things that your coaches are asking you for. As far as like training is concerned, like who have been some of your biggest training partners and what are some of the things that you've had to do training wise without giving too much away to make sure that you're prepared and ready to go out there and perform here next week?
Just being able to be the nail, go with all these tough guys, like I said, these pros, these pro lightweights, really like grinding me against the cage, like just putting pressure on me, making me move, making me think, keeping me on my game. Like I can't be more thankful than those guys. Like I said, Charlie Alexander, Zach Hicks, Patrick Crumpton, Dedrick Sanders, all the pro guys, man. They've been getting me ready. Ronnie Lawrence, man, that dude's crazy. That dude's crazy when I spar him, man.
Talk to me about July 13th. When did the matchup come together? Can you talk a little bit about like how long have you been in camp and when did you first get the bout offer?
So this was probably around like the middle of May. They're like, "Hey, dude, you want to fight in June?" I'm like, "Nah, that's way too soon." They're like, "What about July?" I'm like, "What day in July?" July 13th. I'm like, "Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll do it." And as soon as I got that idea in my head that I'm gonna fight July 13th, I locked in ASAP. I just flipped the switch and I locked in, and I'm ready.
Can you tell me who's the opponent that you'll be fighting? What do you know about him?
Ramiro Ponce. I know he's from North Carolina. He's 1-0. He has one submission win under his belt. That's all I know about him. He doesn't have too much tape. His fight was about a minute long, and you can't really study much off that 1 minute fight. So I'm like I said, I'm ready for anything that comes.
It is kind of an interesting dilemma, right? Because there are a lot of guys that go out there, they like to watch all the film of their opponents. They like to go on Tapology and kind of scour through somebody. Does that make it a little bit more difficult because he only has one fight, a fight that didn't really last all that long? How do you kind of game plan? What's kind of like your mentality as you get ready to fight a guy that you probably don't know a whole heck of a lot about?
It makes it fun. It makes it more fun. It's a guessing game. You can't really, like I said, you have nothing to study. So he's 1-0, not too much info on this guy. It makes it fun. Like I said, go in there. I don't know what to expect. I don't know if he's a grappler. I don't know if he's a stand-up guy. Like I said, I'm ready for it all, man. Like I'm ready.
July 13th, who's going to be in the corner for you?
Dude, I still don't know. Dustin Ortiz for sure. My brother Ava, and the third one is gonna be tough. I need to talk to the guys. Maybe Ronnie Lawrence. Maybe Ronnie. Yeah, Ronnie, Dustin, and my brother.
Oh, there we go. And for you, it's a huge moment. You'll be making a walk. You'll be competing in an MMA fight. I'm sure you're very, very excited about it. Obviously, you want to go out there and you want to get a win and send everyone home happy. But as far as like from a developmental standpoint, there are a lot of guys I talk to. They're like, I want to work on my jujitsu in this fight, or I want to show my wrestling, or I want to show my striking. Do you have any sort of goals like that you would like to hit in this fight apart from getting the win?
I just want to finish, man. I just want to show these people how good I really am, man. Like I just want to go out there and make a statement, whether it's a submission, a dominant decision win, or a TKO or a knockout. Any kind of win would be good.
And final question for you here. Obviously, there are a lot of people that are going to be going out on fight night to watch you perform. I'm sure there's a lot of excitement in your area, a lot of folks out there really, really looking forward to watching you fight on July 13th. What message do you have for your supporters and what can your people expect when they watch you make the walk here on July 13th?
Thanks for being patient. Thanks for having my back. I will not let any of my fans down, my supporters, and trust me, I will get this victory. I will win.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you tune in July 13th to watch the fight. Thank you, sir, for being on this program. I look forward to having you back real soon.